Welcome back, Go Game Masters. Your master, the Frank Master here. Welcome back to the Mario Kart podcast. That is Super Circuit. I guess never finds up with the game again now, because this course sucks. Look, I'm not gonna say anything. Can you already see the one big immediate issue with Snowland? I think for the booster course it fix. Go ahead, don't be shy. Trust me, you see it, I see it. It sucks. This sucks. You know it sucks. Everybody knows it sucks. And it makes you question why they made the decision. You know what spells fun? Having to play a kart racer game with a shaky screen. Ay ay ay. This truly is a whole lot of just hell and back. I'm sorry, just a lot of hell. So anyway. I haven't really been playing. In terms of games I've been playing recently, not really been playing a whole lot. I'm more focused with other stuff for the moment. Because, I'm going to be into a running break. I do kind of want to prepare myself because, no joke, why I say this, I think the 5th Chronicle, I'm going to start writing by the end of June. I think it has potential to be the longest Chronicle of the story. For various different reasons, because interestingly enough, back in high school when I first spoke out the story, I guess, or incoherently babbled about the story, I guess is a better way of putting it. I don't know what clicked my mind thinking, hey, no, that story has grounds to be something. So I decided, I like to make it a book. I'll try to make it a book series. Obviously, since none of them were published, you can already tell that I didn't publish any of them. I got as far as to the halfway, like a 3/4 way through the 4th arc. So, no, I'm not recording Ghost here. Fuck that. Snowland doesn't deserve a ghost. Fuck Snow. Alright, but okay. But anyways, I was say, yeah, I remember spending a lot of my night, high school nights, trying to make this book series a thing. And it was only going to should be the 5th Chronicle, not any of the other ones. I couldn't tell you why. Just that one to me, I feel like had the legs to be something. Granted, things have changed since then. Obviously, I was more of a teenager working on recency bias, essentially. And I kind of was inspired by other content creators who were trying to do their own story content. Like your Vizzy Pops, your SG4s, those sort of things. Like, I was inspired by those, do my own sort of thing. So I figured, hey, you know what? If they can do it, I can give it a shot. So, yeah, also, you can clearly see where my love for animation comes from. But I'm just saying, I was trying to make them books back in the day. Obviously. If I will not submit them nowadays because, oh boy, you thought the rough drafts I have now are rough. You have no idea what I wrote back in my high school days. And I don't know why I thought they were even good to begin with, because they're not. No amounts of solidity, over explaining the hell out of things. Need to use a thesaurus with, and granted, that's still a problem I have nowadays where I really need to expand my vocabulary. I have a problem doing that, and that has not changed, unfortunately. Has yet to change, and never will change. But anyway, oh god damn it! Try to focus. Oh, but yeah, I pretty much wrote up to the the 3/4 way of the 4th arc, and unfortunately I just stopped there with that. The job wasn't there anymore, and I realized that if I'm gonna do this, I probably should do it more properly. So what I ended up doing is I tried to make the 4th Chronicle first, make it a prequel series. But I was thinking I was writing I think I was writing up to the 3rd. And the fun fact about that, early versions of the 4th Chronicle, the first 3 episodes I written for what you end up reading were actually almost note to note the same ones I have for that pre-draft, because I did like the idea of where it was going. Of course, it just needed more fine tuning and more build around it, but I like where it was going, so I figured I'd just keep taking that direction, and that's how it kind of formed itself. God damn it! There's a reason why you're one of the few GBA tracks yet to be released. You and Peach Circuit. And I guess Jungle Park 2. I think no, it was the other one. But anyway, we'll talk about like freaking story. Yeah, eventually I was writing 3 episodes through the 4th one. I was realizing, okay, maybe I should just start from scratch, do it the right way, start from the beginning, like how all good stories should. And also around time too, where like a lot of stuff happened in my life around that time while I was writing the first episode of the First Chronicle. Well, okay, I'll be quite frank with you. I haven't actually written the draft yet. I just more spoke into existence. And I learned that was a terrible fucking decision, so that's why nowadays you see written scripted versions of it now. How it should have been from the very get-go, but that's out here or there. And in case you're wondering, no, I don't believe... okay, the first arc might remain mostly unchanged, but everything else is probably going to be different. And the reason why is because it's not so much like the book itself, more just the story beats it hits. I want to make sure it actually ends up hitting. Granted, there's still going to be a lot of change regarding that too, and in fact, you won't believe how much change I actually made to these chronicles. Because back then... Hold on a second. Alright, sorry. As I say, back then, when I was like speaking to existence, because like... I was bored, like, I was more... Because I more or less did those things because I was bored and just wanted to get my mind on something. Anything. Like, if I'm not playing a video game, not watching TV, or like whatever, or hang out with friends, or whatever the hell I'm doing. I figured, alright, if I'm just gonna pass the time, I might as well just speak these stories to existence. And they were a bunch, every single one of them, were a bunch of incoherent nonsense. Like, complete and utter, like, how the hell is this gonna come together sort of thing. So, as you might have guessed, because of that, I had to do a lot of revisions for each one. Because the fun fact, the first you got are incredibly short versions of what I originally had them as. For good reason, because a lot of the stuff I ended up bringing was a whole lot of fucking nothing. A whole lot of fucking nothing that probably has no bearing on anything. Plus, too, I had this weird obsession where, granted, I probably wasn't the one doing this either, so I'm not gonna say, like, it was just a one quirky thing I did. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do it, so I'm not gonna, like, yeah. But, like, I like to, like, throw copyrighted characters, copyrighted events to these stories, too, like, they help pass the time. Obviously, I can't have that happen, so... had to make adjustments elsewhere. Because the thing is, all of them, they went from they're kind of like a year-round thing for me. And, like, for instance, in 2013, was when I did I was talking about the first Chronicle. And it started from the beginning of 2013 to the end of 2013, so... Obviously, that's way too long, and if I expect anybody to do that nowadays, even myself, I can already tell you that's already hell incarnate. Because, like, I remember, like, I was starting out right, like, playing out, like, the first time around, I thought, it's gonna be 70 episodes long, it's gonna be a fucking long journey. Turns out that's what happened, I managed to trim it down to 35, because like I said, a lot of it hadn't do anything. Worked out better that way. Of course, a lot of other decisions have to be made, too, to make sure the story flowed better. And it goes for all of them. With the exception of the 5th one. The 5th one's going to remain mostly unchanged. Okay, the 5th and 8th one. If we ever get to an 8th one. Because, I don't know how long I'm going to take this. I'm not stopping anytime soon. And might as well go ahead and say this, put this little tidbit here as well. Now you know more, I'm done with you. I might as... Oh, I didn't... Whatever. If I were going to do the entire series, it's going to be 9 chronicles long. Now, the length of each chronicle varies. Now, obviously, 3 of them are already 4 episodes long. The 5th one's going to be longer than that. I'm pretty confident saying that. I'm not sure how long the 6th or 7th one's going to be. I haven't planned out, but like I said, what I put into words is different to how I write them. So, obviously, things are not going to be as long. I don't know for sure. The 8th one, I'm pretty sure, is also going to be around the 40 episode range. I don't think that one's going to be any longer. And I think the 9th one's going to be just about as short as the first one is. Of course, I'm not going to spoil a lot about it either, because I want to save that to actually write it. All I'm gonna say is I'm pretty sure the 5th one's gonna be the longest, and like the first ninth one's gonna be the shortest. Like, so we'll see how things play out. Honestly, things can change. Nothing's set in stone. Hell, I don't even know I'm not even guaranteed the 5th one's longest. It could also be another 4-episode adventure too. You never know. With the story beats I want to hit in that one. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna be 4 episodes. I think it's gonna be longer than that, but we'll see. All right. Yeah, it's picking up, dude. I don't really care. It's just. I think I know the reason why that's going to be the case too, because without going too much on what's going to happen in the 5th Chronicle, it's going to be like if 2 Chronicles were put together, because there's 2 different types of sagas playing out in it. Grant, the villain's still the same. It's not like, you know, there's like 2 different sagas, 2 different main villains. No, the villain, the person behind the first saga is going to be the same villain behind the second one too. So it's not, well, Grant, I guess you. The villain already, if you, granted, by this point, the epilogue's not out yet, so yeah, I'll hold off from saying who it is. But if once the epilogue comes out, it'll be pretty apparent who the main villain's going to be. I did make it pretty. I didn't really say it outright, but I did make it. I did really put a lot of heavy signs to point out who it is. Like anyone with any, like, I'm pretty sure anybody with any reading comprehension will understand who it is. But yeah, I'll say this much too. I don't think that the 5th, if those of you who thought the 4th Chronicle was too dark, if anybody, frankly, the 5th one is not gonna be as dark as the 4th one. Well, we will be talking about we'll still exploring some very mature themes regarding it. It's still, you know, it's not gonna go to the extremes the 4th one went to. Oh, there are some interesting things right there. Well, of course, Snowland wasn't enough, was it? They gotta make sure every single ice track had like this bumpy screen, huh? Plus, it's Vanilla Lake 2. Vanilla Lake was easily the worst 2 tracks of Super Mario Kart, and they decided to bring it back because ice physics, baby. The day I love ice physics will be the day I become becoming a Steelers fan. I'll say that much. Actually, I don't really care much for the Steelers. Michigan fan. There we go. The day I love ice will be the same day I become a Michigan fan, which is never. Yeah, or I guess I don't know. It's just, yeah, I would just say that for much because honestly, I don't really care much for the Steelers or even from the AFC North either. Maybe because I've just become more apathetic to the Browns. I don't know why I don't know why my family became such super fans of that team when the team doesn't really give a damn about winning or anything like that. Alright, but you know, I guess it's just a family tradition, you know. I'm sure if I ever have a son in the future, if I ever do have one, it'll be his burden too. It'll be his burden as well. We will garner this burden to the day we die, because somebody has to take it. You know, it's like Lord of the Rings. You just like somebody has to take this burden to be the Browns fan of Mount Mordor. Yeah, I haven't watched that in a while either. I'm not like my mom's a big super fan of it. It's like if my dad's a big fan of Star Wars, my mom's a big fan of my mom's a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I don't know what I would say is a big fan of the movie industry. I want to say the MCU before Phase 4. I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of Phase 2. There were some things in Phase 1 and 2 I wasn't a big fan of either. I don't know. Marvel's kind of all over the place in terms of quality. It can have some of the best superhero movies of all time and also have some of the worst ones. No in between. Is all over the place quality, so I don't know if I would want to say I'm a fan of that. I could say animatedly, things like Toy Story and How to Train Your Dragon are my 2 favorite animated film series of all time. Out of anything, I guess. And you know what, I'll go on and say I do like Toy Story 4. I don't like it as much as 3, but I do like it. It's probably, I mean, I will say this much. I'll say 2 and 3 are better than 4. But I still think 4, it had some good things. No, and the 5th one does show some promising elements too. Albeit, I just don't think it's us. Once again, my problems with 4 the same problems I'm having with 5. I think it's unnecessary. That's why I said about Toy Story 4. I'll say it again here. I just think it's unnecessary. I understand why you're doing it because, you know, the movie industry falling off and they need like something to put asses in seats. I mean, it's so surprising you got a friend in me for like the title theme. Like, they're trying to build on your nostalgia and whatnot. But, like, outside of that, I just don't think it's necessary. I just think that if a series ends, it should be like that. It just ends. Sure, yes, you can make prequels and whatnot if you really wanted to. I guess. You know, I guess if the money's there, I guess you can't really ignore it, but, like... there should be no continuation of the story. To me, once the story is over, I think there should be no continuation of it, unless, you know, I guess sequel series can still technically be a thing. Just most of them are not really great. I'm pretty sure everybody there has told you how bad those Star Wars sequels were. That's why I said, like, back in I was like, so I have to decide for those films, regardless of the quality. Because, like, I didn't hate The Force Awakens. I actually kind of liked it. I didn't think it was the greatest movie in the world, but I liked it more than, like, say, like, Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace. But that being said, the more I think about both The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, the more I think about those two, the worse they both get. And I think they're pretty easily the two worst Star Wars films of the bunch. I don't think it's particularly close. Now, Attack of the Clones did anger me when I watched it. That one didn't actively anger me. But, like, I think that one had more to give than both Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. If you ask me personally. Granted, I don't think any... I mean, I don't think any of them actually stack up to Revenge of the Sith or any of the original trilogy, but... I mean, that's just me talking. But yeah, I guess the whole conversation was what was my favorite movie. I don't think I really have one. I guess Harry Potter. I don't know. I don't even know Harry Potter's that either. I haven't watched this movie in a while. At that, Pirates of the Caribbean, like the first 3, okay. I like the third one. I do. The last 2 though, 4 and 5. Hell no, those movies are shit. Yeah, I don't know if I really have a favorite series, but I guess we'll continue this conversation for later. So, thank you all for watching. I'm your Master, the Frank Master. Continue Master this game out in the next part. So, see you guys then.